Welcome everybody. In this video series I show you the extension dbFlux and how to handle Oracle database applications in an easy way. The first thing you need to do is to install dbFlux through the extension manager. To do so, just click on the relevant icon in the sidebar and simply enter dbFlux into the search field. Of course, I have already installed dbFlux. You just have to install the extension using the installation buttons above. Furthermore, you can find here a few features listed, what is possible with dbFlux and so on. Important is here that dbFlux uses bash in the background, and so you need git bash, for example, on Windows. On Linux or macOS, you should have a bash included. Additionally, dbFlux uses SQL and or optionally SQL Plus to deploy the files or objects into your database. dbFlux works with a very specific folder structure. This can be created by dbFlux itself or by the deployment tools dbFlow and XCL. On the top level, this structure has folders for Apex apps, database objects, REST modules, reports, and application-specific static files. In the database folder, database objects are stored with respect to their type and the respective schema they belong to. dbFlux knows three variations of the directory structure. These are the single schema, with only, as the name suggests, one application schema, then the multi-schema, in which there are three schemas which are structured according to the three-layer principle: data, logic, and app, and additionally the flex schema, in which 1 to n schemas can exist. The schema for the Apex application and the REST modules in the flex schema are additionally represented in the directory structure. It is important to note that in single and multi-schema mode, the applications are always imported into the app schema. So, okay, let's get started. First, we need to initialize the workspace with dbFlux. So just execute the command dbFlux initialize project structure. Then we give the project a name, for example, to do, and then we select multi-schema mode in our case and enter our database connection. Now follows the password of the deployment user, and then we enter the admin user, which should be used to deploy the script generated later. Now comes the question about the creation of a new workspace and the first user who is allowed to log in here. And that's me, MME. Yeah. So, and what dbFlux has done with this? It created us a folder structure here on the left to match the multi-schema mode we just selected. On the top level, we have the hook folder. What that is, I will tell you in another time. And then the Apex folder, DB, reports, REST, and static. In the Apex folder, your applications are stored. In the DB folder, your database objects are placed per type and schema. We have a reports folder. Here you could, for example, store your AOP templates, but I'll show you another time. In the REST folder, everything that is to do with your REST modules ends up, and if you want to edit static files via VSCode, you can store them here. I will show you in another video how to upload them with dbFlux. Here we come to the right part. dbFlux has created a few files in the setup folder. We can now execute them as admin. Important at this point is here a deployment user is created and three schemas to which this deployment user can connect. This is because we chose multi-schema mode before. Additionally, a workspace and a workspace user will be created. And very important, already existing schemas and users will be overwritten or deleted. So be careful on what you are doing here. And now I can just go to this file, install SQL, and run it with Ctrl-Alt-B or the command dbFlux compile current file. Of course, I have to enter the password. After that, dbFlux executes this file with SQL Plus or SQLCL when configured. Now the whole thing is done and we can connect to all three schemas with the deployment user. In the next video, I will show you how we can easily create our database objects with dbFlux.